Welcome back to 42 Gear Street Part 2. I'm here with Guillaume Jolin from Blue Cat Audio, a software for guitars. There it is. It's very blue.
Well, yeah, it's blue.
It's blue. Is that by design?
Yeah, by design, yes. But
okay.
then, well, it depends on the amp model you choose. I mean, some are...
Ah, okay. So I've got a Nick Huber guitar here. This is the Orca. And I've played this in a few other videos. My goodness, that's a good guitar.
So maybe first you want to tune it, right? I mean, there's a built-in tuner.
I would need to tune it. Is there a tuner in the software?
Yeah, of course.
Oh my goodness, so let's have a look.
Just get there. It's in there.
So the tuner works.
Yeah.
That's good. Is the tuner always available on that screen?
You can switch it on or off, yes.
Okay, so you switch it on and off, but it's always on the screen, so you haven't got to go to a secondary screen or anything?
No, it's always there.
That's interesting, that's good.
There's another tuner if you want, built in as a plugin, so you can have a larger tuner on a different screen if you want, but it's more convenient to get it here.
Cool, because we're also talking about using this live.
Yes.
And if it's possible to trust the software, to trust the laptop to run it live, so maybe we can talk about that at the end of this video or somewhere near, once we've already decided how useful it is, how easy it is to use.
So that's a clean tone.
Yeah?
It's dry, there's no reverb, so we probably want to add some reverb. So you can just
let's go to the software.
Yes.
That's what Guillaume's doing.
Yeah, so you can load, there are many built-in plugins in there, and you can also load third-party plugins if you want. So if you do not find the reverb you like in there, and you have a good VST plugin that does it for you, you can load it inside the software.
Fantastic. So say I was using a VST from like the Valhalla reverb, which I like a lot.
Yeah.
You could load that as part of this software.
Yes, you could.
Amazing. All right.
And so once you have your plugin loaded, you can select a preset or dial in your tone. And if you have no idea about how to dial in a good reverb, there's a feature for you which is called tone maps. And here it is. So the idea is to see the presets on a 2D map. And instead of clicking on a preset, you can move the mouse around and it's going to change the sound.
Awesome. Let's have a look.
Create the reverb you like. So I get all the reverbs in there and let's see what it does.
Can I play and then you just move it around?
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
Well, that's nice. Let's do it. Yeah.
So these ones are longer reverbs, but if you prefer room reverbs, you go on where all the room reverbs are, and it's going to sound like a room. Right?
That does really sound like a room.
And no need to dial in any parameter, just move the mouse around.
So where are you right now on that map?
This one, it's close to something called a rehearsal room. So
okay. And you sampled this yourself, the IR, or how did you do that?
It's not an IR. It's actually an algorithm reverb.
Ah.
So you can also edit the parameters there. If you open, let's zoom in because the screen is large. So you can change the density of the reverb, pre-delay if you want to add some pre-delay there, the length if you want a longer reverb, how reflective the room is, or the space is, and there's some filtering, but usually you don't want to bother with that when you start doing your sound, so just move the mouse or select a preset and you're done.
Okay, so firstly, that was very easy. So rather than dialing in sort of pre-delay and room size and all that, you can just move that around that map that you had.
Yes.
Just bring the map up again. There we go. So rather that I'm a very visual person, so that works extremely well for me. when I first saw it in the tent down there in 42 Gear Street, I thought it looked simple, but could it be that simple? And it actually seems to be really easy to use. And I wasn't controlling it, of course, but let's say, okay, let's find out here. So we've got a room tone. Could you get me something more stadium, like something bigger, something like?
Yeah, so I can see some presets out there, like which I call medium hall, ambience, bright arena. So maybe let's get there.
Okay, and then just to test it, could I have a more crunchy sort of channel? So we're going like stadium rock, something a bit more rocky.
Sure. So we're gonna change the preset for the amp. Just next one is crunch.
Okay, crunch. So there we go.
Larger arena, bit too large maybe. And then afterwards you can adjust it. I mean, if it's too long,
it is rather long. So
let's use a smaller length, like, and maybe reduce the reflexivity of the room.
Bring it down a little bit, so we've got a big sound, but yeah, can we mix the dry in? Yeah, so we take the wet down.
Maybe a bit too long still.
Still a bit too long, yeah.
It's hard with the headphones.
It is, yeah.
There you go.
So the sound you're hearing is obviously different to what we're hearing. We're using headphones. I've heard it through a rather large PA system, and the guys were having so much fun. They went through like some Van Halen stuff, and then some rock, and then some beautiful kind of slightly overdriven blues that was happening from Sam Bell.
Yeah, you want this one?
Yeah, sure.
So we can pick up any. There are many amp models in there, which are actually presets. You can build your own amp models if you want, but I have a few presets that I like. This was the tone you're talking about, I think.
And then, so I know we're talking about how easy it is to use. So far, you're operating it.
Yeah, that's right.
So for me, it's extremely easy because I've got someone doing it for me. But I am watching that screen and seeing what you're doing, and it seems pretty, I want to say standard, so there's no surprises.
No.
Of course, I like software that you can get a good sound very, very quickly, and then maybe dive into it and change a few things. But for me, when I've used software in the past, like I've recorded with Logic, the guitar sounds are not great, but it's mainly preset based for me. I don't use them a lot, but for production songs, like I did the song for this event, I just chose something that was okay because it was low in the mix and the guitar wasn't the main instrument. It sounded fine. But the issue always with software is when guitar is at the front. And it's one of, like in a rock band or maybe even whatever, when the guitar is one of the main stars of the band. So my production was full of fake brass and full of drums and singing, and that's fine because I was doing this kind of thing. So you just had a percussive. You couldn't really discern whether the guitar was real or not, and it actually added. So what I like about adding, when you have productions that are software based, so I use Native Instruments Contact with the Session Horns Pro, and I'm not very good at programming them, so you can get an amazing real sound out of them. I didn't have time, so I just kind of played around. But what I did is, by adding a real guitar, doing that, the ear kind of gets more comfortable because the ear recognizes that's a real instrument.
Yeah, it's more natural. It brings some human thing in there.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what I'm trying to say is that the presets for Logic are fine for most things, unless the guitar is the main instrument. So is this capable of bringing the guitar as the main instrument to be actually believable?
Well, that's actually that's the main goal of the software. So yeah, and regarding preset, there are hundreds of them. So that's just for the amp models. You have for bass guitar, you have many amps for guitars, like hundreds of them. But it might seem a bit overwhelming. So again, for amps, you have this map thing. So you can load all the factory presets or the ones you already like. And
can we see that?
Yeah, you can morph between them. So if you still want to keep the crunchy side of things, let's load a map with some crunchy tones. It's in there. And so here again, you can see that's amp models on the map, and you can morph between the amp models. So this one is a bit brighter, but
So can we then take the reverb down? The reverb's a little bit distracting.
Maybe just get a room.
Yeah, a more room tone. So we're playing at home in our little living rooms, guitar rehearsal spaces.
Less wet.
That's nice. Yeah, that's believable.
Oops. And you can zoom in on the map if you want to. I mean, if that's the tone you like, you zoom in, and you can then just move around and see. I mean, it's a good way to build your tone quickly without knowing anything about amps or about how you parameterize those.
There are other softwares I've used where you can go into adjusting the valves and you can go into adjusting the voltage and the sag. And for power users, that's very interesting and very addictive, because you can really go into this fine details. But for me, it doesn't work because I work at speed. And of course, I could build presets with that. Several other softwares that do it. But I genuinely don't have the time. And I know that seems ridiculous.
Well, here actually, once you're close to the tone you like, you can deep dive into details. It's not about electrical engineering because it's not physical modeling. It's more about your perception of the tone. But if you open, so this is the amp, and you can open the amp editor. Oops. Here you go, which is actually the Destructor plugin, which is available also separately if you want.
Okay.
And so here you can set up a different preamp using presets if you want. Many presets there. You can change the way it distorts and also change your cabinet. And then if it's not enough, you can deep dive into it and change the response curve of the preamp. Same for the cabinet, just edit everything, and also change the way the distortion reacts to your playing. And that's actually the secret sauce of the plugin, because while you play, it's going to change the way it distorts. So if you start playing,
let's see that software.
So as you can see on the screen, while you play, the whole thing is moving. It means that it's reacting to your playing.
Okay, that's interesting. You can see the feedback on screen.
Yes. And you can change the way it reacts to your playing. So here it's compressing a bit when you attack hard, but you can reverse the behavior so that it's the other way. it's gonna bump, so it's gonna distort more. It's a bit less natural, but the other way around, it's a bit like a tube amp. So it means if you really want to get into the details, you can tweak everything. So it's kind of a top-down approach. You first start with presets, the maps to morph it in presets, and once you're close to the tone you want, you can deep dive and adjust every little thing so that it just feels right.
Sure.
So if you want to spend hours on your tone, you can.
Good.
It's there.
So far, it seems extremely easy to use. Of course, I haven't actually touched the software, but I'm following what you're doing on that screen. It seems interesting. One thing I'm not sure about, and to be totally honest with you, is the look of the software. And it's blue. I see your product, your branding, and everything like that. But it does for me look very basic, which actually is quite refreshing. Rather than having all these huge graphics of what an amp looks like. And what I really, really enjoy is that you haven't taken any names of products and called them like the Mar Shunano or the Fenenda, or you've got these names that's just like clean or crunchy or
there are a few things like twangies or high watt or but the idea is that it's not exact replica of existing models. It's just inspired by those models.
Sure.
And since you can build your own amp out of it, why use existing names?
Exactly. I see the negative side of that is that people will say, well, where's the Marshall sound? Where's the orange sound? So they're looking for the preset that says British.
Yeah, well, actually, if you look for British, so you can look for preset here. There's a search box there. So I'm looking for the amp presets. So let's say I'm looking for Brit stuff. There are a couple of those. Like the Brit 800 is a typical British thing. And you can see by the look,
yes,
even if it's still simple, maybe it's a bit too much gain there. For
I was hearing you do something. Firstly, I like that. The feedback thing that you were doing.
Yes. So that's another plugin. It's not built into Axiom, but since you can load VST plugins,
sure,
you can load it here. So it's a plugin that simulates feedback. So when you're working in the studio or on headphones, when getting feedback is a bit difficult, you can do this, but it's a nightmare.
So we would need to have studio monitors or a PA speaker like you were using in the tent.
And you might just break the speakers. I mean, studio monitors are not meant to do feedback, right?
Right, of course.
And
I didn't know that, but it makes sense.
So if you want to have a feedback at very low volume or on headphones, you just...
I'm going to try and play a note, and you're going to do something that makes it feedback.
I won't do anything.
You're going to do anything?
The software is going to do it for you, so play.
Okay, so I'm going to play.
And the feedback is good. You just keep the note playing. Just like in the real world.
Okay. Oh, I choked it.
Yes, the thing is because you have played
an open string.
Yes,
that's interesting.
So you can do weird things, indeed. I'm just changing the amp. So you can adjust it to your playing. So there are a few parameters in there. So this preset is just for my playing. But depending on how you attack and how your vibrator is, you may want to adjust the sensitivity of the plugin so that it stops feedbacking.
Sure.
When you stop, when you change notes or when you bend stuff. So maybe it's a bit too sensitive. So that's because the A string is resonating. So just like in the real world, actually.
interesting.
And you can use a compressor before if you want to make sure that the level is enough.
Okay, yeah, that's what's happening. So the volume is dropping off.
Yes.
Of course, when you have an actual loudspeaker or something like that, then it would naturally support that feedback loop.
Yeah,
and that's what I was hearing in the tent down there. It's beyond the camera down there. So people were playing, it was feedbacking, and I think you had it on a foot switch.
Yes. So because here we don't have the foot switch, but the idea is to push the foot switch just to enable the feedback.
Sure.
When you want to trigger it, you push it. So because it's all MIDI controllable, so you just need a MIDI pedal board or whatever foot switch that works for you, and you can trigger the feedback when you want. So you can play for a long time, sustain a note, hit the foot switch, and get the feedback coming.
Yeah.
So when you're playing live, it's awesome because even in small venues, when you don't have much volume, you play a solo and then you get feedback, and people is whoa, what's coming? Where is it coming from?
Cool.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it sounded much better to me when someone else was playing it over the loudspeaker. It was much more realistic, and in these
we're playing with headphones, so
I'm not making excuses for the software, but for me that was a different experience to what I heard the other players using in the speaker. Naturally, because we're on headphones. So there's a lot of noise there.
Yeah, because it's a lot of fuzz.
Is there a gate?
We can put a gate there, yes.
Let's put a gate on it, just to get it nice and controlled.
So we have a gate here.
Ah!
Is it ugly enough for you, or?
That's pretty ugly. It's quite. I like it a bit more meaty, so some more bottom frequencies. I'm going to change the neck pickup, see if that helps that situation.
Or maybe you can change the amp too. I mean, this one is pretty. Well, let's get another one. I'm gonna use. I like this one. Maybe let's try it out.
Yeah, that sounds closer to what I was expecting. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that's.
That's just ugly. So let's switch the feedback on then, and let's see how it goes for you.
So that's Guillaume, you're going to be switching that. So you're not going to see us doing this. Hello. You're going to be switching it with your fingers using the keyboard.
Yes.
But you can use this with MIDI control.
Of course, yes.
Okay, here we go then. Now there's a tone. Yes, Guillaume, leave it there.
I'm sure you would like this one. It's dirty
So what is that software doing? What's that? That's an octave below or sub?
Yeah, it's feedback, but an octave below.
I don't think that's actually. Well, I've never done that live. Is that possible live?
I don't think so.
No.
But yeah, it's just. Actually, it may happen to have some sub-octave tones, but with other harmonics as well. So
Right, yeah, of course, just to have that solo. Is it possible to have more than one harmonic?
Not in the plugin itself, but you can have several in parallel. And you can create harmonies because. So that's so far we just explored the
Yes.
acoustic feedback part, but then you have you can transpose the feedback.
Mm-hmm.
So usually it's better when you play clean tones,
Right.
and then you can create harmonies that smoothly come behind.
Okay. Well, we're not going to go that deep in this
Yeah.
video. It's certainly not a deep dive video, but it was. I want to know how easy it was to use. How powerful is the software? What does it sound like? I can tell you that it would need a little bit more playing about to get it satisfactory on the headphones. But I have my allotted time in here, and I can't spend so much time. Of course, I think when people, certainly me, when I get a piece of software, the first thing I do is check out the presets.
Yes.
So how many presets do you have, and how do they range?
So in fact, there are presets for everything. You have presets for the software overall, which gets you full tones. You have presets for the amp. You have presets for the pre-effects, post-effects.
Okay.
So you can build your tone using several types of presets. But so it's thousands of presets, and every effect pedal has also its own presets.
Okay.
So you can spend just hours going through the presets.
So let's get a quick a sort of preview for this video. Let's look at the pedals. We're not going to play them, but we're just going to take a quick look.
Okay. So in the pedals you have delay and reverb, simple ones, and another one which is called Let Reprise. Well, I'm just going to show the...
Sure, please.
It's very deep. You can create your own delays and reverbs with it.
Okay. So could you do sort of ambient music with this?
Yes. Let's pull one preset which I like this one. It's a clean tone with...
Well, I said I wasn't going to play it, but I can't have. That's big.
And you can, with a lead tone, you can also have some more really definitely ambient thing. Let me check this. I'm just gonna use, so changing the guitar tone, maybe crunchy tone, and then loading the presets. So that's called Big Blue Verb. And it's gonna spread what you play. Oh, it's a bit too loud.
That's interesting. Still going, still going.
So this one is spreading. It's a delay, so it's spreading what
Sure.
you're playing.
In the stereo field, I guess. 'Cause
Yes.
we've only got one ear in.
In the stereo, and also over time, it's 1 octave down, and the idea is to create a synth texture out of what you're playing, so that it's following what you're playing. So if you play arpeggios, it's going to build a chord out of it.
Let's try that. I can't pick up the pick.
So yeah, it's like an automatic play along thing.
Oh. That's super interesting. Now I'm getting interested in what it does. I kind of want to swap places with you, but we haven't got time for that in this video. That's a very, very quick look at what you do for Blue Cat Audio. Why is it called Blue Cat Audio?
It's a long story, so we have to do another video for that.
Okay, cool. Well, please let me know what you think in the comments down below. Please let me know what other software you use and how you think it might compare. Maybe we could do a shootout, and I'll happily bring you a video with lots of software in it. Have you used it before, maybe? And let us know what experiences you had, because I'm brand new to it. I have used it before at home very, very briefly, of course. But I really wanted to know, when I knew I was coming to 42 Gear Street, I actually stopped using it because I wanted to speak to the man himself. So Thanks for watching. Please follow the hashtag 42GSTWO, 42GS2, and you'll find all the great content from us here at 42 Gear Street. I will see you in another video. Thank you, Guillaume. Let's do a social distance.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. That's Guillaume from Blue Cat Audio. Bye-bye.